Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, people of Earth. Welcome to another episode of Toolbox Tuesday. Tonight, we're in for a treat. We have our current Division E director, Brian Peters. He's going to take some time to share with us about the great tool that Toastmasters has given us called FreeToastHost. Going to go through the nuts and bolts of the what's and whys, how it works, how to use it to our advantage, and likely talk about maybe some new components that are on FreeToastHost that we may or may not be aware of. I know I am not aware of much, so I am looking forward to that. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And without further ado, please welcome Division E Director Brian Peters.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that introduction. Please. That's that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Today's topic is FreeToastHost, and if you haven't seen FreeToastHost before, I'm going to share with you today the agenda. So it's very simple. Exploring the possibilities. What is possible with FreeToastHost? What are the benefits of it? What's the structure of it? And so first, what is FreeToastHost? How do you get signed up if you don't use it today? I did a quick poll of my 22 clubs in Division E, and I took a list. I took inventory of which clubs have a FreeToastHost website, which ones do not. Out of the 22 clubs, there were 17 that have a FreeToastHost website. So that's pretty good. Actually, 15. I take it back. 15. In fact, they're right there. There's all 15 of the clubs with FreeToastHost in Division E. So there's still 7 clubs in Division E that do not have it. So I'm hoping to take this to them to get close to all of them signed up. Now, there are different challenges to why people don't use it, but so for acceptance, 70% in my division, that might be common and maybe less in your area. But if it's your club and you do not have it, this is a perfect webinar for you to understand a little bit more about FreeToastHost. I'm going to go through a whole video tour of the tool. And if you haven't seen it before, I'm going to show you and highlight a number of really cool features that can help bring in new guests. Everybody likes to bring new members into your club. And also for your existing base, which is most importantly for quality, how do you run an effective club organization? How do you maintain that club quality and have everything running smooth as silk? And new members, when they come to see your club, they will see that. They'll see the communication and the ease of use for organizing these events. So first I'm going to talk about FreeToastHost, and then I'm going to explore the first half, which is what do non-members see in the FreeToastHost's website? So VP Public Relations, great tool for really getting the word out and really soliciting members to come to your club. And then I'm going to explore the members only section. I'm going to log into my club's website and walk through and demonstrate some of the features of the tool that are really helpful for us. And I checked, unfortunately, I won't be able to demonstrate the PayPal setup because I'm not the treasurer in my club, so I can't get to that feature or I may be mistaken, but so I will show you how to get directions if you are the treasurer of how to get to the directions to view that process. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into what is FreeToastHost. So I'm going to FreeToastHost is a website. So I'm going to pull this up and just Google. If you have never searched for FreeToastHost, I'm going to go ahead and type there. I typed it in earlier. FreeToastHost. And the very first one that comes up is cot.toastmastersclubs.org. So you can either remember toastmastersclubs.org or just remember the common name we all know them as FreeToastHost. So if you don't have a FreeToastHost site today, go to this website, and right here it is, request a website. 2004, a little bit of history. This website, the standard, came out back in 2003. Actually, 2004 officially was the very first version. In 2011, the current version that we have was was rolled out. So they made a lot of updates, and you'll see those in a few minutes. And they are right now introducing FreeToastHost 3. So it's a new program that is currently out. So it continually is evolved. If you're looking to create a new website, it takes a lot of work to build a website. Well, not a lot if you're a website developer, but for the average person to put up and then maintain a website can be a lot of work. The great aspect of FreeToastHost is that it is configured especially for Toastmaster clubs. If you want to set up a club website, you can go to FreeToastHost. As the name implies, it is a free club. The most important distinction, the qualifier, is that you have to be a Toastmasters club. So if you're an organization that's not affiliated with Toastmasters and you want to use this website to create a club and put all your information in and organize as though you are part of Toastmasters, you would not have access to this tool. Part of this process of signing up is you enter in your club number, your name, your email address, and then verify, and then you submit the request. FreeToastHost then is not, it's affiliated with, but not part of Toastmasters. They will then verify that your club number is a registered Toastmasters club. So once you submit the request, you will then receive the directions via email, and you can begin that process. So if you are looking to start the club, you can go ahead and request that today. If you have a member in your club that is a fairly good at computers, or maybe even a web developer that has developed websites, or maybe just computer proficient, maybe they can sign up if you're not. But if you're here and you're interested, good chance you're probably already adequate and competent at running a computer. So it's pretty simple, as you'll see, to set this up. So once you set up your request, you'll get the information, you'll start to get a link. Now, what does that mean? You'll establish a name for your club, and I'm going to go over here to our club. So this is our splash screen for our club. And you'll notice up here it says fim.toastmastersclubs.org. So our club name is Facility Improvement Masters. Our corporate club is, what we look at doing is improving facilities. And we're architects and engineers, and we look at improving the facility. So we create FIMs, Facility Improvement Measures. So Facility Improvement Masters seem to be a great acronym. So in our name, it's fim.toastmastersclubs.org. I'll come back to this site, and you can see all of the other clubs in Division E have the same name. So your club name, or whatever you determine that to be, is the beginning of your website, .toastmastersclub.org. So there's the fim.toastmastersclub. See, many of the clubs actually use their club ID, their club number, 373-447. So if you're an older club and have a low number, that's great. Even in this club, you can see they had a higher number. They still went with it, and that works for you, for anybody. You can have a really long name. You see Women with a Mission Toastmasters.org. It's fairly long, but that works. And so all of these are the club names for the FreeToastHost. I'm going to go back to FreeToastHost. So you get your FreeToastHost website set up, and you'll have your menu. And this is customizable. You see we updated a picture right at the splash to welcome guests. We're primarily a corporate club. We are open to new members, but there are some conditions. So for anybody coming in, this whole top of the page up here is really what you can customize. And as a VPPR, I encourage you to update and manage this part of the menu. So for new guests to come in, they're going to look at about us, meeting information. They're going to read about this. Our information on this website is not a great example. So I'm going to show you one that is, but I want to briefly show you what a minimal site would look like. So if you got your site set up for free, you're going to get a lot of these basic menus, and there are going to be a lot of tutorials on how to set them up. But you can see very easily what basic kind of structure looks like. There's a club calendar. Club calendars are really nice. You see our club meetings in here. We can add special events. We can add a number of different events into this calendar. They can be Toastmaster meetings. They could also be other events. This is the club calendar. There's a section called public download. So it's a file repository. So for your club, if you don't have Google Docs or some other file repository, you can retain all of your club email, electronic documents virtually. There is a section both for public download, as you can see here, and there's also a folder for internal documents. So both are great benefits. I could see downloads being available for viewing. There could be a number of great benefits to having documents for guests to see. Free resources, that takes us to a link to Toastmasters.org, public speaking tips, video library. So if people are just learning about Toastmasters, there are a number of links that you can put into that home screen to take you to other web pages. Again, you don't lose this page. And there's also the Toastmasters video.
Hello, I'm Stacy. Thanks for visiting.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacy.
We're gonna close that window, but you can have links to there as well. So this is, as a VPPR, you're gonna look to this kind of menu as being your welcome to new guests. So think of your face when people, so what do people see? How do you get your club address out there? So the first thing I would suggest is getting a nice simple website name like ours, fim.toastmastersclubs.org. I've seen people convert that to a QR code, which I can take into a separate discussion, but you can take any URL and make it a QR code and put it right on your agenda. I'm not going to cover that today, but that's just some creative ideas of how do you get your club address out there. If the shorter you make it, the simpler it is. You can just have the words fim.toastmastersclubs.org. I want to quickly show you another club. Before I show you the club, I'm going to actually show you I lost that page. So I'm going to search for a club called MNRPCV. Actually, I have them right here. There we go. So here's a club, MNRPCV. They are in my Division E, Area 482. And MNRPCV has a great tradition, and they've been around and have been distinguished, presidents distinguished many years. So they've got a great thing going, and they've got a really strong membership today. So if you go to Toastmasters.org and you found their information, one of the things you'll see is a visit this website. So a lot of the traffic for new guests that are going to come into your club through websites are going to come through Toastmasters.org. So one of the first things you want to do is if you set up a free Toast host, make sure that you also set up this link so that you have a website. So Toastmasters.org is driving that traffic to your website. So if they go through the find a club near me and they find your club, you want them to pull right into here. Because if you click on this contact club, you'll see that you have first name, last name, email, phone number, no additional information. So if I'm a prospective person looking to join or looking to visit, it doesn't give me a lot of options to engage. But it's some basic information. I don't know who the email got sent to. So I'm going to close that out. So what I like is if you create the link for Toastmasters.org to create this link, you're going to click on visit the site, and it takes us to their free Toast host page. So just by compare and contrast, this is my Toastmaster Club's page. Nice picture, but it's pretty minimal on the left. Now I'm going to go back to MNRPCV. You can see how much bigger their main menu is. Again, it's customizable, so you as the administrator of the site can change your menus, and I would encourage you to do so. You get a lot more value out of driving change in this in this structure. What is your main message? And you'll see right at their home screen, I really like this approach. They have a message right about who they are. Welcome to the club. Why choose us? So right at the front of the screen, you get a great message for new members. And then you scroll down, visit our club, come on out. And they have a blurb about recent events. So you can see a lot of people there. Looks like a lot of energy. There's an award being delivered. So a lot of great things are right here, right at the home page. Again, if I now go down to see meeting information, that's much nicer than our meeting information. So a great advertising for them. I'm really making myself look bad, I think, with our free Toast host site, but I wanted to show you what's possible. And I'm sure there's many more good examples of other clubs that have done more, but this is what I really like. When you click contact us, so now if you drive people to be interested, they can click contact us here, but now you can see there's name, telephone, email address also, but there's also more information. How did you hear about us? And your message, what are you interested in? So if you can have advanced information about a guest coming in, this is a lot more powerful. So and you also see who the club contact is. This is going to go to Dan Gruntner. And here's his phone number. So I want to contact you, but guess what? I'm going to pick up the phone and just call Dan and, hey, Dan, I'm interested in joining your club. So you have a lot more guest-friendly interface through this website than you do back through here. Now, this number, 487-3068, if I go back, I'm suspecting that is also Dan's phone number. But again, it doesn't tell me that it was Dan on the other page. So a couple benefits: drive the traffic to your website as a PR, and you're going to get better turnover because you'll have more information for them to browse and become interested in your club. There's a page they added on Meet Our Members. So this is completely different, where you can add, everybody maintains their own biography, and I'll show you where to do that in a few minutes. But everybody's updated, and you can just have a list of their positions, who they are. There's a picture, and they then do the diligence to themselves, update and maintain their biographies. You'll see there's a Facebook link here, so you could also connect with Ronald on Facebook or Ruth. So a great way to really demonstrate, it looks like Mark hasn't updated his picture yet, but you can see you get a lot more value. You can really make this more personal for prospective members when they can kind of get a history, they get gain an understanding of the members. Club social events and photos, you can, just like Facebook, you can get a feeling for what kind of activities they look at. I'm not going to go through every one of these, but what I did like down here is participate in a speech contest. So they have a speech contest coming up October 17th. It's on humorous speech contest, so they have pictures from the last ones, but they're really getting the message out there, even for their own members, that there's an upcoming speech contest. A little bit about us and who they are. So that's all information, and I do need to talk to them because we're District 106, but again, this is a reminder that these are websites. They have to be maintained. So there's lots of links. There's things that have to be updated. So if you were to set one up as a VPPR, this has to be an ongoing responsibility to then maintain this website. So that's something simple to change, especially with the transition from year to year, to make sure that the information is updated. That is made easier within the tool because you also can manage the members. I'm going to go back to our website, and now I'm going to log in. So I'm going to assume you have a club. You have a FreeToastHost page set up. You've set up your main menu. Now, what does the interface look like for your members that all be part of this club? So as soon as you get your website up, you can update the main menu for guests to see. You'll also need to import all of the information about your current members. And I'm going to log in so I can demonstrate for you what that looks like. First name. Now my autofill is kind of hiding, but it's my first name, last name is my username, and a password. So once you get logged in and it's all set up, that's how you can log in. Now that I'm logged in, you'll see I have members only menus. It's a whole nother set of menus. I have the option to log in as site admin, which I'm not going to do because I don't recall the password. There are the meeting agendas, quick roll sign up. So first I'm going to cover is the meeting agendas. The meeting agendas to me is, well, first I should admit that share with you that I am a VP of Education for this club. So if you're a good VP of Education, please withhold judgment. But one of the things that a good VP of Education will do is have meetings planned out weeks in advance. So remember that if you're good. So what we're going to look at is, here's the meeting agenda for the next meeting. The meeting agenda for October 18th. So quick view of the agenda. You can see I can view other agendas by clicking the arrows or clicking a drop down to look at them. You'll see past dates. They have an R by them because they've been reconciled. We've reconciled who was at the meeting. We made updates. So if a speaker wasn't there, we took them off and then we reconciled it. So you have a record of that event. So if you're a secretary, this is a great tool. So I can list all agendas. Right now it just shows me some moving forward and back. If I look down at the bottom, I have for the Toastmaster meeting, I have the times, the role and agenda item, and the member. If the member has their photo uploaded, you'll see it here. I'm going to pause there and quickly show you where that is because it's really simple. Under Edit Your Profile, I'm going to jump back to the meeting agendas in a minute, but if you click on edit your profile, you'll see here it's this simple where you have 4 tabs: basic information, email, social links, and member, bio, photo. My basic information is your name and your email address. And I'm going to scroll down, my telephone number, club member sense. So, and if you have a mentor. So this is your basic information, your email settings. I'm not going to cover these, but you can go on vacation. So I'm not going to get emails for these dates. Kind of like hold my mail when you go out of town for the U.S. Post Office. Social links. Remember on the other site, there was links for Facebook. You could have your Facebook URL in here, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Flickr, Google+, Meetup, and others. So if you are on these social links, you can add that to your bio. And lastly, this is where you can have that brief member bio. Remember we saw on the other page with the descriptions of the members, that this is where they would be maintained and upload your photo. Strongly encourage to try to get photos. It really makes it personal for your club members to connect. So that's my quick transgression into edit your profile, coming back to the meeting agenda. So that's benefit of getting my photo in there. Now when you're looking at the speakers, it's a quick view that I don't know, well, I don't see Matthew Cutshall, but I see it's Matthew Cutshall. So I know it's Matthew Cutshall, but it really makes it nice when I can see the photo. So he's the Toastmaster. We have speaker 1. This is a 3-speaker agenda. So what we do is we say from 8:04 to 8:25 in the morning is the speakers. So you can do it that way. That gives us the flexibility to adjust for speeches when some are 5 to 7 and others are 8 to 10. So just by having a large block of time, that's a little bit easier for us to manage. You'll see in my details, I can enter in my speech title and speech introduction. And the speech introduction is only visible to the VP of Education, which I am, so that's why I see everybody's speech introduction. If you're not the Toastmaster or the VP Education or that speaker, you will not see this section when you're looking at the agenda. You will not see speech title and speech introduction. So the benefit is I can enter in my speech title, type in my speech introduction, update it, so it's saved. And now the Toastmaster, just save them a phone call. They can go log into the tool, see it, say, oh, I'm good to go. I don't, unless if there's something else Brian wants to share with me, or maybe I'll give him a call, but otherwise I have the information I need to introduce. The other thing you can do is choose the path in the project. So you can see pathways is in here. I'm going to collapse them all. So you have all of the different paths, as well as the legacy programs, which will be expiring for us this coming June. So if you pick a path and you know it's going to be your icebreaker for effective coaching, I'm going to select that one. The benefit is now from a tracking perspective, I know which speech I'm giving. It also communicates to the Toastmaster, but here's the other great tool. I click on the evaluation form, and here is the evaluation form for the icebreaker.
Wow.
So you can now print this off right from this site at the club meeting. So I accidentally clicked on my Zoom menu, so I'm going to, how do I, sorry, I apologize for the break. I'm somehow I clicked on the Zoom menu and user error. I apologize for that. So right from the menu, we can get the Toastmasters, the evaluation form right from this agenda within here. So it helps facilitate the evaluations at the meeting. If you're printing, or if you can print them in advance. As me as a speaker, I'm going to bring my evaluation form. I can just print it right here and bring it. We work in, ours is in our office, so we can also print it right from the office when we're there. So now I can update all of that information. I'll change that later. I'd have to hit update to save it. So each of the speakers can do that same saving of information. And you'll see there's a number of roles empty. So anybody can, I can send out a notification, say, we need people to sign up. They log in. There's no delay for people to say, well, is the evaluator still open? No, it was just taken 10 minutes ago. You want something else? They can log in and see real time who signed up. If it's open, if it's not signed up, you can click sign up and it's yours. So there's no delay in signing up. People know exactly what they're signing up for when they click sign up. You see at the bottom that there's create, edit. You can edit notes. You can add meeting notes and update them so you can communicate to the whole club with some meeting notes at the bottom. So I'm going to come back up to the top of the page. And one of the benefits, I kind of skipped right over it, which is, are you planning to attend this meeting? So I'm yes, because I'm already on the meeting. And I can also click confirm because I'm going to be there. I am now confirmed. So I am going to be there. I have confirmed my role. If I wasn't going to attend, then I would say no. And in fact, if something comes up and I can't attend, I'm going to say no. This action will remove you from any roles for this meeting. So it automatically knows that I can't attend the meeting anymore. It doesn't, you don't have to say no and then go remove yourself. You just hit no and it will remove you from all the roles. So I cancel that because I'm going to be there. So now I want to quickly cover these menu options very quickly. So first is emailing this meeting agenda. So I want to send this, I can send it to all club members. I've just selected myself just to show you a sample. You can type in a quick note. Need additional roles filled. Please sign up. So I'm going to hit send this email. Again, I'm not going to send it to all the club. Normally I send it to all club members. I'm going to just hit VP of Education, which is myself, and that email is going out. So that email is sent. I'm going to check my email inbox for that message. There it is. Nope, that's not the one. Here it is. So this is what an email looks like from them. Nice. So here's the link to that agenda that I was just looking at. I can print it from here. I can email it again. Now remember that, are you planning to attend this meeting, yes or no? If you're not attending the meeting, I could click it here and it'll take you right in. You have to log in to put in your credentials, but for all of your members, they can go ahead and sign in and say yes or no. I'll come back to that email. So that whole email, now that whole agenda,
Oh, Brian, you froze up.
If you remember, Michael.
Oh, there you are. You froze up for just a moment there.
My internet connection was unstable for a minute there. That's something I got to figure out. So it's of great value to be able to email this agenda out. You can email it ad hoc at any time. You can also print. So I'm going to print out, and they have the new layout. So I'm used to an older version, but now I'm going to select the new version. On the options, I can select what I want to include on those. I can include the member photos. We've done that in the past. We actually opt to not to do that primarily because of space. It also takes a more anchor tone, but for special meetings you could. But I'm going to go ahead and pick this as our default, and I'm going to hit OK. So what it looks like your traditional meeting agenda. Oh, I have it landscape. Let me turn it back to portrait. It has our president automatically filled in. For all of the officer roles are automatically filled on the side, a club mission, the meeting agenda. So this is the traditional meeting agenda. And it's already formatted, already printed, and all the meeting roles filled with that are signed up. So it's as a click of a button to print your agendas. And you'll see the president on the side and all of that information. So where does that come from? That comes from managing the membership management. Each of the members, here's the members, all of the members listed. You'll see that Sharon is listed as the president. So next year, some new person is elected president. You can now change that, manage those roles right in here. Part of the benefit is, just like on that agenda is one of the benefits, but the other one is club email addresses. So you have these standard club email addresses for the president. So that email address never changes. It'll always go to the president, whomever the president is at that time. The same thing with this email up here. I want to send a list to all the members or all of the club officers. I just need that email address, regardless who are the club officers. If they're updated in here, if you send one email to this email address, it'll get sent to each of these club officers. So a great tool, again, for communication is having that club email addresses to maintain those roles. So back to the agendas. There's a number of meeting reports. I really like this feature where you can select member role report. I've used this where you go speech report, and not for everybody, just for myself, for example. I'm going to run it. This is a speech report. I need to figure out what speeches I've given. I'm going to close this. You see how the print preview looks, but now I have a record. Remember, I put in the information of what my speech was, which manual. I have the title of the speech and the date. If you need to submit for those awards, here's all of the information you would need. For now, back to the meeting agenda. So that's part of the meeting reports. There's a lot of different options to run reports and get information from these agendas. Now, let's say you like this feature of agendas, but you typically like to plan 3-4 weeks out in advance. Remember, a good VP of education would do that. I can go ahead and select all the future meetings today and bring this to the next meeting. And this is what it would look like printed. I'm going to switch this back to landscape. So here's your meeting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 meetings out and all of the meeting roles. Bring this page to the meeting and say solicit people who wants to sign up for where. So if you have people already signed up, you can have it printed. If you have open positions, you can write it down, bring this paper back to your computer when you're back in front of this as the VP of Education, and fill those roles. So this template right here is a great way to print just along with the agenda to bring to the meeting. Now, typically Toastmaster brings the agenda, but that's this print multiple meeting sign-up sheet. I want to delete the agenda, I can do that. If I want to edit it as the VP of Education, I can click Edit. And this is where I can simply select someone down here as an evaluator. Something else I really like, this is kind of subtle, not a lot of people know this, but when you see I select the number of members, you see there's numbers by everybody's names. That represents, since the inception of our club, how many times those individuals have spoken or filled that role as an evaluator. So you can see who has been evaluated the most. So from this, I might say, Kevin Thuringer, you haven't been an evaluator. I'm going to assign you to it this week, just to kind of balance things out. You haven't been an evaluator very often. So it gives you feedback on how many times people have spoken. Close that. So that's how you can manage. And if you need to create a new agenda, you have an ad hoc, or you need to create agendas, I typically create them out for half the year. So I have them all created out, I think out through December. I might actually have them created all the way out to the end of this Toastmaster year. I think I actually do. But regardless, you create new agendas that way. So I got to speed things up a little bit just for benefit of time. So I covered all about the agendas and the management of these emails. I'm going to just briefly go down and see if there's any other aspects of the members only section that I didn't highlight. We didn't talk about the quick roll sign up. I have to be honest, I have never used this function, so I'm not going to click and demonstrate any of these features. It might be a great tool, but I haven't used this, so I apologize. The mentor protege request form. So people want to mentor, the great way to communicate as a club, they can go ahead and select to be a member, or they'd like to mentor someone. And club email address, as I mentioned, profile, your private member directory. So here's a list of all your members. Your member downloads. Remember I mentioned earlier that this is a file storage repository. So you could have your club information, maybe your registration or the books for the treasurer, club secretary notes. They could be stored here on this website in this member section, a private member directory. I'm going to come back here. Similarly is member downloads. I'm sorry, that was member downloads. Membership management. I highlighted this briefly earlier. What I didn't highlight in here, I mentioned briefly the club officer roles, but you can also enter in the prospects or guests. You can have guests. Now you can see, it's not that we never have guests. Primarily, we just haven't utilized this aspect of the tool to track the guests in here. We probably should. That would be a good way to track them and follow up with guests. Now, most of the guests are corporate, so it's just following up with fellow employees if they liked it or not. You have a section for former members, so these are individuals that have left the club. Friends and affiliates, quick ads, a new member welcome email. You can create custom groups and Now, some of the settings, I'm not going to get into those, but most of those are tied to the website administrator. So that's your membership management. Assigning mentor. So I'm a VP of Education. I'm not sure if everyone has this, but I can assign Sharon to be the mentor for Chris McGauley and send them an email. So I can save that. Now I can track that within this tool as well. The email and contact forms. So there's email settings for what gets sent out. The security, so if some people can't receive the emails. Again, this is website administration details with the whitelist, blacklist. That has nothing to do with people's skin color. That's an IT term. Whitelist is a safe list for sending emails. And I think the blacklist is for emails that are blocked. Is it spam and not a member? Again, I'm not an IT administrator, but you can see what kind of address information's here. So here are the club email addresses. So they're not email accounts, they're just redirects is what they are. The contact us form, so you identify who receives the emails and if they will accept prospect phone calls. And the mentoring form. So that's their email and contact forms. Again, the purpose is to facilitate communication for members and website support documents. So this will take you to the FreeToastHost 3 web support and development site. So this is a great tool. Now I'm new to FreeToastHost. I just opened my page. What do I do? Well, if you're new to FreeToastHost sites, here's the link to browsing the site and logging in. If I click on that, it'll give me great directions, which I skipped earlier because I'm already a member. Logging in for the first time. It gives you directions step by step of what happens, some messages that pop up to agree to the policy, and then as I demonstrated before, how do you log in, the club member login. So great resource is this FreeToastHost 3. How did I get there again? Website support documents. So at any time, members can, once they're logged in, click on website support docs. And support forums, similarly under that same site, there's a support forums. Again, if you're looking for an issue, new members can't get club login. Need your help to set up the password as site manager. So when you have administrative, there are a lot of different posts and they have views. So you can see there was a lot of feedback or a lot of views on this thread here. So I'm not going to get into those details, but when you look at FreeToastHost to manage your website, think of it as two different tools. Think of it as a tool for prospective club members on this main menu of what's in the public, what can people see, and how does my club reflect on that membership. On the bottom is members only. Now when you facilitate your clubs, whether you're the president, the VP of Education, a lot of benefit for the VP of Education. If you're the treasurer, you can send out invoices through this tool, which again, I can't demonstrate for you, but I will show you where to get those directions. So where do we get those directions? D106tm.org. Great plug too for our district's website. So District 106, if I scroll down just a little bit, this time to renew. So September 30th, the date is passed, but it's a good thing this is still here because if I click on the link, there's a great description. Just scrolling down a little bit more. Pay your dues on Club Central. No. There it is.
There is something there, yeah.
Here it is, right here. If your club uses a FreeToastHost website, the club treasurer can email dues invoices, keep track of who is paid with payment method used, and follow up with those who haven't paid yet. So how do I do it? Well, that's a great description. There's the link. Here is a step-by-step guide to using PayPal. Setting up PayPal for Toastmasters clubs. So you can look at this. I wish I could demonstrate how to set up invoices. That perhaps might have to be another FreeToastHost meeting.
I'll say, Brian, I am the treasurer for Spirit of Leadership, and they do have a FreeToastHost site that I'm barely familiar with. If you think it's beneficial,
I don't know where to go. I don't know. So I'm going to say no. I don't think that'll help me, unfortunately.
Okay.
So for the members only section, so when we look at the site and signing up, I think it's a great benefit for your club to facilitate communication with prospective members and with your current members as well. To manage, you have to manage this section of the main menu to update information. As you saw on MNRPCV site, just the basics of having club information about their members. When I click Meet Our Members, to have your members go in and update their profiles so that they can see, so prospective members can see this, the benefit of putting this on your open page. So it's a nice benefit. When I come back to here, updating your meeting agendas, the communication of the agendas, the printing them out, those logistics of maintaining and running club meetings is made so much easier within this tool. I almost can't think of what it would be like without it. And I think probably the greatest benefit is the transition in club officers year over year. For next year, the new club officers have a process already in place where they just have to facilitate. And every year, if they can incrementally make the process a little bit better, that's great. But if they don't move the ball forward at all, you still got a good process moving forward. So great tool. I think I've really exhausted everything I wanted to share today. What kind of questions do we have in the last 18 minutes of this discussion?
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a lot of information. Thank you for sharing all that, Brian.
Absolutely.
For anyone who has any questions, we're using the webinar tool for Zoom. So as far as any verbal questions, if anyone has anything, there's the raise your hand button. If you do that, then I'll know to unmute you so you can have direct conversation with Brian and myself and get your question addressed. Or you can type into the chat box and I can recite those that way as well. As we wait for a participant, one question that I had or that came up was, one thing I thought of is, say a club discovers that they already have a FreeToastHost website, but they were unaware.
Right.
Don't know, they don't have any access to it. Do you know how get or reset a user and password? If it's available through here or if it's a phone call?
That's a great question. If I were looking for it, what I would do, I would go ahead and submit this form as though you do not have one.
And just make a brand new one?
Well, they're not going to let you make a brand new one because your club number is tied to that FreeToastHost account. But what they'll say is the club is already open and that you've now opened an engagement with FreeToastHost.
Okay, you've opened Dialect. And
yeah.
Good idea.
So to me, I think that probably the simplest, that's probably what I would do. I would send it anyway.
Okay. Great. Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else? I see we have a few new people have jumped on, which thank you for coming. Does anyone have any questions for Brian? I see a chat popping up here. There's a question that says, can a Toastmaster that is not an officer modify the agenda, print it, and email it?
I believe the Toastmaster has to email the agendas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the Toastmaster and the VP of Education can email the agendas out. I believe anybody can print the agenda. And I believe in the settings, if I go to membership management, no, meeting agendas.
Yeah, I believe, I know for my one club that does use FreeToastHost frequently, I don't have the admin login, but I have the member login, which my member login is oddly enough the same as what my Toastmasters International login is.
Yep.
At that point, I can review the agendas. I can do some minor editing. I can print those and I can email out to the club as Toastmaster.
Yep.
I believe as any member of the club, I believe has the email access.
Okay.
So if you want to email a member,
You
say,
click here.
for example, say, Brian, you were in my club, and I want to email you, and I couldn't remember your personal email, to say, hey, Brian, could you wear a blue shirt with white stripes tonight? I could email you through the FreeToastHost directly.
Yep.
Or I can email the entire club to say Brian and Michael are wearing blue shirts.
Right.
I believe the answer is yes. A Toastmaster can do some mild modifications in the agenda. I guess I'm not sure if they can, I don't remember if we can appoint or change.
I'm certain that they can only change
meeting
themselves.
roles.
So if Matthew wanted to remove himself, he could click the X to remove himself from this role.
Correct.
But he could not remove me or anyone other than himself. So that feature would be disabled. I am the VP of Education, so I do have the ability to remove anybody, or just go into the edit this meeting agenda and actually change who it's assigned to. And actually even move, I can delete this role, I can move things up and down as a VP of Education. So if we don't have a third speaker in this meeting, I could actually click and delete that third speaker from the agenda.
I'm actually logging into mine right now to see if I'm able to change. We have a meeting coming up on Thursday. Evaluator. And no, it doesn't look like I can remove. But I can email these people specifically. I can confirm my own role as not an admin, but as a club member.
Okay.
I can review everyone who's confirmed. I can send a direct email to those who have not confirmed the role to ask them. Oh, it looks like I can remove people as well. I can remove.
Okay.
And I don't have any open roles on my agenda. So.
Good.
Ooh, I do see that I have a role assigned to someone who cannot. So let me see if I can remove her. Nope, I can remove a person, but I cannot assign. Not that I can see. Let me double check. Role sign up. Enter protege, club email, edit, member downloads, treasure function, website support. No, I don't see any way to add or modify.
Okay.
Edit this meeting agenda.
If you are assigning members as a VP of Education and there's somebody has said they're going to be gone for the whole month of October and they went in and said, no, I will not be attending those meetings. When you come down and try to assign somebody, if they said no, their name will be grayed out. You cannot select Scott Brown if Scott Brown has said he is not able to attend this meeting. Exactly. So there's also...
I did just to cover that I can assign, looks like I can assign roles.
You can assign roles. And what's your role again?
My role, well, I'm a Toastmaster.
You are yes, as a Toastmaster, you can edit. It's your meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can run it.
Okay, so that's not new. That's old.
Correct, yeah. So I think if you go to another meeting agenda where you're not the Toastmaster, I suspect you cannot change or edit the meeting.
And that could very well be. You could be correct there. Excellent. Cool. Any other, I see. Oh, that's the same question. Any more questions for Brian?
I have a question that I think I heard, somebody told me, I could hear through mental telepathy. Somebody asked me, well, I want to start this site, but who can help me set this up? And one of the great things of Toastmasters is that there are a lot of experts within Toastmasters, and a lot of people are willing to help each other. Ask your area director for help. And I'm the division director, so I'm hoping my area directors would solicit this feedback, and I'd even myself go and help that club. The club could have a club coach, or if you're a brand new club starting off, that will be something we'd want to try to engage. This can be daunting at first to get it set up. It could take a few hours to get all of the details set up with everybody's names and information set up. It's not daunting if you've done it before. So just ask for help. Ask your area director if anyone else has done this before, and we'll help you. We'll help you through that process. There are roughly 7 clubs in my division that aren't there, and I'm going to reach out to each of those and offer to help them to set this up and see if that is something they would look to do. Setting up the first time is probably the easy part. That doesn't take a lot of work. It's the maintaining the database, maintaining the agendas, and managing the club initially is a challenge. It's a new process. So it's a new learning curve for all prospective members to remember to go sign up and to have that in there where you're maybe used to doing it on paper and spreadsheets. It's a different process. So I'm offering for my assistants in my division. I don't have enough time to offer to anybody in the whole district, but there are many people that I have experience doing this. Reach out to your area director or division director and ask them for help, or if they know of someone that can help.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian. Susan has typed in another question. In fact, I am going to attempt to allow Susan to ask this question herself. We're going to try unmuting her. Bear with me, Susan.
Fantastic. Good luck, Michael.
All right.
You got this.
Susan, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead and ask your question for Brian.
Thank you. Brian, my question has to do with how to add the FreeToastHost link to the Toastmaster International site. Do you know where I go to figure that out?
Updated. Great question. Where is menu button? Here it is. I believe you have to contact
Okay.
us, and you probably can start right here. Start with that phone number.
That's what I'll do.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Excellent.
That's a great number. I've done it before, and they're very helpful.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's true. Unlike most 1-800 numbers, people at TR have always been very friendly, very punctual. If they don't have an answer immediately, their communication is great, which is good because we are a communications and leadership development organization.
Right.
So yes, any questions, definitely call them.
Yep.
Regarding FreeToastHost, as Brian mentioned, if you do not have one currently and you want to add one, first off, go ahead and reference this webinar will be posted on the D106 website. And Brian, the way you laid out the presentation today was very well done. So as a recorded presentation, I think it'll be easy to go through, pause, do a step, go through, pause. You laid it out very well, which thank you very much for doing that. Well done.
Thank you.
On top of that, as Brian mentioned, reach out to your area directors. Many of your area directors probably know this stuff. If they do not, be patient with them because this is a learning experience for them as well. We're all here to learn. They can reach out to division directors, so on and so on and so on. We have about 6 minutes left before the hour is exhausted. If we have any other questions or any other comments, or maybe a success story or something to share with the group, by all means, please let me know and I can unmute you and you can talk directly with the group here. I see there's a few of us still online. Otherwise, with that, any closing remarks, Brian? Any last minute tips to share?
I would say technology is a tool. It can help, and if it helps, that's fantastic. Anything we can do to save time and improve the quality of our club meetings, it's great. It's a website. You need to have experience with computers to maintain it, But the benefit for the club members is the speed and efficiency of signing up for meetings and knowing who to communicate with and sharing information and club information. So remember, if you make the investment, it's a one-time investment to get set up, but it's a process change. So be patient at first. Try it for 3 months, and I suspect you'll see it have a lot of success. I think there's a lot of benefit. I today can't imagine running meetings in our club without it. That's my advocacy. And looking at the testimonial on my screen right now, our website is heavily trafficked and brings us 1 to 3 guests a week, many of whom become members. That's an aspect that I don't even utilize in FreeToastHost, and that's the public side of that website. So think of how you can drive traffic to your site as another great avenue. You can have a Facebook page. I see many clubs have Facebook pages driving traffic to the FreeToastHost site. That's my closing comments, and thank you very much, Michael, for the opportunity to speak tonight.
This FreeToastHost, there's more available on here than I had even imagined. I know I dabbled a little bit on it. I knew very little going in. I know there's a couple of tools, but just even from your own presentation, you've shown the example that there's a segment of this tool that it looks like each one of the 7 club officers has a useful tool for. The president, VP of Ed, the treasurer, the secretary, you mentioned that.
Yep.
The VP of membership, PR. It's every one of the 7 officers can have a piece of this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I believe if each officer learned their specific segment and practice it throughout the year, at election time, whether it's biannual or annual, if that officer can share that information with the next person, and say within a few years, it's likely the majority of a club will have full knowledge of this thing.
Exactly.
I know in my leadership roles as area director and division director, and even as club growth director, I meet with a lot of clubs and a lot of members that are working on so many of the small admin things to try to improve things for their club. A common thing is the agenda. We're trying to redesign our agenda. We want to redo this, and they're trying to do a lot of things from scratch. A web presence from scratch, a website from scratch. Looks like this FreeToastHost has all of this available. And how much time and energy is saved by grabbing a tool that already exists versus trying to build it from the ground up. When we can say, go to this specific area, grab this tool, it all exists. Go ahead and enter your input your information, and move on to the next challenge, which is whatever it may be on your moments of truth to-do list. Excellent.
Well said.
Are at, what time is it? 9:28. We are at about the top of the hour. I want to thank everyone who joined us tonight for this Toolbox Tuesday. Thank you, Brian, for the great presentation and turning this presentation into a great resource tool. As I mentioned, this will be on the D106tm.org website within the next 48 to 72 hours, depending on how fast my awesome webmaster and editor can get this on the site, which I thank Lisa as well. She's done a fantastic job. I am lining up our Toolbox Tuesday for next Tuesday. I have 1 of 2 or 3 options. It'll be a surprise. I hope to have a communication out by Thursday evening to let us know who will be presenting and what topic that will be. With that, I hope everyone to have a great evening. Share the knowledge that we have learned tonight. Share it with your club members. Share it with your other members of your area. Share it with your friends, share it with your dog. I don't care. Share it with everybody. Let people know that this tool is available. Thanks again, Brian. And I wish everybody a good night.
Thank you, Michael. Great job.
Thank you, guys.